What's up everybody, I'm Big Mike. In this video I am going to cover the thrift hauls that I've made over the past week that will eventually be listed in my eBay store. Stick around to the end to see the real big prize possession that I got. Let's get it started. Okay, on my first stop I went to Salvation Army. I went on a Tuesday, which is the first day of the week that they're currently open in my town. It seems like they have a little bit more stuff on a Tuesday. Maybe they just get a lot of stuff loaded over the weekend or what. But this time was an unusual one for me. They had more electronics than usual, and I like sometimes dealing in electronics. First thing I got was this Philips DVD VHS player. Haven't tested this one yet. They charge $7.99 for it. If it works, that one in particular is not a hugely expensive model. I get about 40 or 50 for it, most likely about 40. If it's not in working condition, I can usually get parts on it for 20 bucks. So either way, I'm making some profit on it. This next one is another DVD VHS combo player. I have tested this one. The DVD carousel will not eject. I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time putting the work in on it. That one was also $7.99. I can get $20 on parts on that one as well. The only other thing that I got at Salvation Army was a 5-disc carousel changer, a TIAC. I've been looking for one of those. If I wanted to resell it, it would go for about 85 bucks on eBay. And that's just, a conservative estimate. But I'm keeping that for myself. Once again, I like to keep my physical media, and I've been looking for a good carousel player, so that will be for my own personal use. So that's my haul from Salvation Army. All right, my next haul is from one of my local thrift stores. This is the one that helps with the children's home, and so once again I like to give them my business whenever I can. Not a huge haul at this one. I picked up a DVD which I don't really have on hand right now. It was Nacho Libre. Once again, one of those things I'm keeping for my personal use. It was in good condition. It was $1. I love that movie. Also got Footloose, which I'll also be keeping. Once again, it's $1. This was mixed in with the DVDs. It slipped under their notice. I guess they assumed that it was a DVD. This is a Kingdom Hearts Steelbook edition for PlayStation 4. It is complete with instructions, and so it even has the code for it in there as well. Probably would easily go for 20 bucks. I think I've seen some listings that go higher than that, but my son has a PlayStation 4 and he's begging me to keep it, so at $1 I might let him keep it. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. The rest out of this haul is clothing. The first thing up is a FootJoy golf shirt. This thrift store really, I hate to say it's high end because I know a lot of folks are in areas that they charge a lot more at thrift stores for things, but this was $5 for this shirt. It's a large FootJoy golf shirt. Just looking at comps, I may be able to squeeze 20 bucks out of it. I paid $5, but FootJoy tends to sell. This other one is a Nike Pro Combat. It's a medium. They also charge $5. That red tag means it's $5. I may be able to squeeze 20 out of that too. It's kind of, Nike Pro Combat used to be pretty good. It's kind of become a flooded market, so maybe I can squeeze 20 out of it. The last thing I got there is Abercrombie and Fitch. I haven't really touched Abercrombie and Fitch too much, but this particular kind has about 100% sell through. The big shirt, it smells like it came from a smoker, so I need to make sure I wash it really good. So this is an extra large. I think some of the comps on it, I can get about 20 bucks out of it. So at 100% sell through, even if I had to sit on it for 20 bucks, I think I paid $2 for that shirt. They didn't have that one marked with a red tag. So maybe they haven't caught on to that particular secret for that brand. So hopefully keep that between us. All right, so this next haul is a pretty rare haul for me. This was a response to a Facebook marketplace. The guy was advertising a bunch of electronics. He looked like he was an older gentleman. Looked like he had just kind of collected these electronics over time. He's trying to just clear out space in his house. A lot of the items, he still kind of kept boxes, manuals, things like that. He was charging $10 per electronic, and if he bought 2, he got 1 free. So I contacted him, said I was interested in pretty much buying out everything that he was selling, which ran me about, I think, yeah, it was about 140 bucks. So let's see what we get for 140 bucks here. This first thing up, this isn't much. This is an Acurian. It's a receiver and an amplifier. I may get 10 bucks out of it. But if they count that as one of the free ones, I may keep that for personal use. I don't know. This next one is a Pioneer CTW 770. It's a tape deck, dual tape deck. This tape deck goes for about 55 bucks in working condition. So I'll have to test it out and see if it works. This is Klipsch surround sound speakers. There are 4 of them. These will probably go for around 70 bucks on eBay. So this is one of a pair of Fisher 102 speakers. These are antique speakers. He did charge 25 for this particular pair. So this was not included in that deal, but it still fell under that 140 bucks that I spent. These can be pretty sought after. I'm choosing not to sell these at this point because I do have a stereo system that kind of pumps into parts of my house, but my work area, I do not have speakers. So I'm probably going to use these speakers to attach to my existing stereo system to pump into my work area. So I can listen to CDs as I prepare to list them and sell them. All right, next up is a Sansui VHS player. Nothing fancy, but still goes for about 30 bucks on eBay. This is a Magnavox DVD recorder. The model number, it's a MWR 10D6. Goes for about 30 bucks on eBay. Next up is a Pioneer 6-disc changer. I believe this one goes from anywhere from 30 to 50, somewhere up in there. This one was a huge pickup from there, if this works. This is a Marantz CD player / cassette deck. This one goes for about 150 bucks in working condition. In non-working condition, it goes for 50 bucks. So either or, I'm still very much in the profit on this one. This next one I picked up pretty much because I was just buying them out. This is an Advent subwoofer. I couldn't find any comp listings on it. Don't know if I'll list it. I may list it for a little while. I don't know, maybe set the price at about 30 bucks, see if it goes for anything. If not, it'll end up getting donated most likely. All right, this next item, Philips Blu-ray player, 45 bucks on eBay. Samsung Blu-ray player, this one goes for about 85 bucks on eBay. This is a Channel Master DVR. Comps that I've found on it goes about 70 bucks on eBay. These are Bose Companion 2 speakers. I guess they're computer speakers from Bose. Anytime you see Bose, probably a good idea to pick it up. These aren't like a huge money maker, but 54 bucks. Once again, at best, it's a $10 haul. Going into 54 bucks, not too bad. These are JBL Spot satellite speakers and a subwoofer. I believe, yeah, these go for about 65 bucks. This, I'm not going to unbox it just yet. This is a Sony surround sound system. It goes for about 75 bucks on eBay. Next up is this Vizio sound bar. I may have to try to track down a power supply. Thinking about keeping this for my personal use, but if I were to choose to sell it on eBay, it goes for about 45 bucks. All right, so this is a Sony RCD W1. This one, if in working condition, one side is actually a regular CD player, the other side records CDs. In working condition, this will fetch me 130 bucks. If it's not in working condition, it'll still fetch me around 50. Sony Blu-ray player. If I choose to sell it on eBay, this one may be a little bit tougher to ship, but I can get about 35 bucks out of it. This is a JBL subwoofer ESC200. I believe this was actually part of a system. Don't know what I'm going to do to it. I may keep it because I couldn't really find any comps except that came with the actual receiver as well. I may try selling it, selling it at $30. So I don't know. We'll just see how that goes. And finally, with a $5 purchase from the same guy, this is a Matrix Special Collector's Edition DVD set. This collector's edition, some of the comps go for about $35. I'm noticing a couple little scratches on the case. I should still be able to squeeze about $20-25 out of it at least. And that'll do it for that particular haul. Once again, that was a Facebook Marketplace meetup. Sometimes I do well on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you hit these dry spells. That was an excellent meetup. That's probably close to $1,000 in sales if I choose to sell everything in working condition. So, $140 into about a little over $1,000. I will take that deal any day, every day. Even going as parts, I will very much make more than my money back on it. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. Another thing with electronics, there is a higher rate of returns when it comes to electronics. So, yes, it's a neat thing, and you can usually get some pretty quick flips in electronics, but understand you're going to deal with returns in electronics quite a bit, as well as shipping can be a hassle. There's some of these things that are odd sizes, some of them that I may have to ship through FedEx rather than the U.S. Postal Service, just depending on linear weight and all this other stuff, all these other factors that come into place. Shipping can be a real factor when it comes to these larger electronics, but when it's all said and done, I will definitely make some money off of that particular haul. Up next is a really cool haul. Probably in grand total doesn't equal as much as these electronics, but I am absolutely stoked for what's coming up. All right, this next haul was from an estate sale, and I had to tell you, when I first got there, I was immensely disappointed. I'd driven about 30 minutes to get there. It's not yard sale season, so I was stoked when I found an estate sale. And the lady's father had just recently passed away, and he had a couple of trailers full of things. Most of them had prices on them. It wasn't for the estate sale. I think he may have been a personal reseller. They weren't specific in the listing of the things that would be there, but pretty much when I walked in, it was a lot of ceramic stuff, a lot of furniture. And to be honest with you, I know that there's a lot of money to be made in glassware and ceramics, but it is not anywhere close to my area of expertise. And the prices that they had, a lot of the things marked at, was really high. And I asked the lady about their prices, and she said the attorney recommended that they go about 80% of the price of the items in there. Because due to my lack of knowledge of ceramics and glassware and things like that, I really wasn't willing to take a risk on anything at 80% of the values that they had listed there. So I was do what I usually do at yard sales, and this is a trick to always go for. When you go to yard sales, people tend to put the things that they value the most up on tables. Sometimes you want to look under tables where they have, first of all, ask if you can go through some of the stuff, but stuff that's just kind of loose in boxes, laying around, you'll know that that's not the stuff that they necessarily value. And a lot of times you can find some really valuable things in those. So I started rooting around, found a boxes of VHSs, none of them that really struck me right away. You have to understand that these trailers were in really, really bad condition. There was a lot of let's just put it that way. There was a lot of things that were living in there that deal with clutter, and so if there's clutter, there are certain creatures that tend to live in there, and so it was probably the most disgusting pick I've ever been on. I doused myself in hand sanitizer after I walked away from there. However, the payoff was really good. So I'm going to start with some of the smaller items that I found. Was able to kind of break the ice with the lady because these things did not have prices on them. And I'm like, okay, this will give me a little room to negotiate. First couple of things that I found. This is a 1984 World's Fair. This was held in New Orleans. This is a jambalaya cookbook. I'm very fond of 80s culture. I grew up in the late 70s and the 80s. I remember going to the World's Fair when I was about 7 years old. I just wanted this for nostalgia's sake, but it goes for about $20 on eBay. I will most likely sell this on eBay, but I just really thought it was cool. This one didn't have any comp listings. This was a Gourmet's Guide to New Orleans Creole Cookbook. There was no comps, but this is from 1976, and so just the listing of popular restaurants and recipes from New Orleans. I'm going to try to throw this out there at about 25, maybe $30, see who bites on it, get an offer on it. And then the next thing that I broke the ice on was this little Care Bears resin clock. There was no reception out there. There was no way to check comps on anything. So these three items, she quoted me $15 on, which was a little high, but I'm still going to probably most likely get my money back. The Care Bears clock, I'll get about 15 to 20, most likely about $15 on this. So, but in my digging, I came across a box that didn't have VHSs in it. It was a box of Sega games, Sega Genesis games. And I'm not going to go through all the prices on each one of them. I just pulled the box out and I said, what do you want for the box of these? And she said $25. And to be honest with you, I stared at her for a second because I knew that she probably didn't know the value on these things. Problem is I'm not overly familiar with Sega Genesis games either. But I went ahead and took the price very quickly at $25. So some of these games, I do have a Sega Genesis. There's a couple of them that are more common that don't sell for as high in numbers that I'm probably going to keep for myself. Here's one of them, Street Fighter 2, pretty popular game. Most of these games will go anywhere from 10 to $20. Mostly these are going to go around the $20 range. So as I pull them out and show you, this one in particular is a special one. There's going to be one that's going to be a lot more valuable that you'll see at the end. But this one is Garrus, and this is a knockoff of, what was the name of it was some sort of G-name game. It was on the Nintendo. Anyway, but this one, it doesn't have the manual. If it had the manual, this would be a $150 game at least. But this will still go for $75, $80. Streets of Rage, this one will go for about $35. Streets of Rage 3 is really collectible. This one, unfortunately, was the only one in this box, but at $35, it's still going to go well. I'll try to quickly go through these. Rex, Radical Rex, I'm sorry. Another fairly decent priced one. In this box, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. This is an empty box. Busby, probably not going to be any value in that. Some of them are not in boxes. This is Normie's Beach Babe-O-Rama. Apparently they were a fan of Sonic Spinball because there's like 3 of these in here. Maximum Carnage, another popular game from the Genesis. Marble Madness, Page Master. Another Sonic Spinball. T2, another really common game. Probably won't go for much. I may hold on to that one just because I don't feel like selling it. This is Sonic 2 with manual, but no cover art. Very common game, but a very good game. If you get a chance to play Sonic 2, solid game. Asterix, this is complete in box with instructions. Pro Quarterback, doesn't have instructions, won't go for much. Sports games tend to not do. There's a couple of rare exceptions. Another empty box, Toxic Crusaders. I may list this one for $10-15 because it was a popular game. Sometimes people look for boxes when they don't have the box anymore. Pink Goes to Hollywood. This one is not complete in box, but it is still got the game and the box. Here's Busby. And it has the game in, but no instructions. Sonic Spinball, complete, not worth much. I really wish those would have been $200, $300 games because I'd really be in the money on this. But I'm still in the money. Pugsy, complete in box. I have to start finding another place to stack these. Tailspin. Quackshot, starring Donald Duck. No manual, but still. Animaniacs with instructions. The box is kind of beat up, but still pretty cool. Jungle Book doesn't have instructions. Tom and Jerry Frantic Antics. The Lost Vikings, no instructions. Tiny Toons has instructions, but it looks like it's missing some pages out of it. Tin Head has instructions book, and it looks like there are codes written on the back, so maybe some cheat codes for it. Batman Returns, complete. Pitfall, The Mayan Adventure, I believe this one's complete as well. Disney World of Illusion. Sonic and Knuckles, another common game, but it's in the box still. This one was supremely disappointing when I saw the prices on it. The prices were crazy, like $150, but there's no game. However, the box, I've seen some sell for about $40, so I will definitely be listing this box. And now, the coup de grace of the games in there. And it's probably not what you're expecting. You probably even saw it in the cover of this video. McDonald's Treasureland Adventure. Probably not the most sought after game of its time. It's actually not that tough of a playthrough, and it's actually has its moments. But this is complete in box. If you go look at comps on this, it goes anywhere complete in box from 170 to 215. So I'm going to shoot high on this one. And so this box, I paid $25. There was 33 games. So that's around about 78 cents a game. And most of them are going to go anywhere from 15 to $20. So all in all, that box is probably going to be valued around $900, a little over $900 when it sells through. With that said, the final value of the amount of money I spent thrifting this week was $223. When and if my items sell through at the price that I'm asking, which they're fairly reasonable prices within the ranges that are there. If all this equipment is working as it should, which I doubt, there'll probably be some broken units in there. It'll be around about $2,300. So pretty much I'm paying about 10% of the profit that I'll be making into the items. That is a huge haul for me. on a weekly basis. Like I said, economically depressed area. It seemed like some things just hit at the right time. I thought I was skunked on an estate sale, and I found a hidden gem mixed in there. Probably maybe found the deal of the day. Maybe somebody will find the glassware that's a bigger haul than me. I just have my doubts. The electronics sale was big. I wasn't expecting to find that, and when I saw all of his listings, I said, let me go ahead and take a shot and see if he'll let me. And he's one of the few I shot straight with and said, hey, I'm a reseller, so it's going to seem weird that I'm asking for all this, but I'm just letting you know I'm a reseller. He was trying to declutter, so he was just as happy to get it all out of his house. So I was just as happy to take it off his hands. With that said, like I said, it's not a common week for me. I'm really stoked about it. But you will see these things start to trickle through on my what sold videos. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. What did you think of this haul? Is there anything in there that struck your fancy that you think was a really cool find? Let me know. Happy to comment back and forth whenever I can. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you very much. And laissez le bon temps rouler.